It's time for the Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
Dick's posing with it, trapped. Is he going to call timeout? It's taken away. He just took that out of his hands. Here's Sam. Here's Frager. Frager over to Hoiberg in the left corner. Starts down the baseline. Puts it up and in and one. Holy smokes. What a sequence. The takeaway on the defensive end and the finish on the offensive end by Sam.
Brody, Winter, driving, shot blocked by Buchengel, retrieved by Mass, down the floor, Jamarcus pushes the ball, crossover, kick out, Sanford, three ball, no good, offensive rebound, Mass with the putback. What a sequence, what a sequence. 56-39, 17 points to lead. Buchengel, guarded by Davis, hands it off. Price has got it, reverses left side, Jacobsen. He jab steps, he drives, he kicks. Now Hoiberg driving, kicking, right corner, Price. Put it up and down. Holy smokes, times a zillion. 27-14, Price Sanford is putting on a clinic.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in, Nebraska Basketball Show here tonight. Why not talk some Nebraska hoops? It's the hottest team, I think, in the country right now. I'm Kyle Crooks, joined by assistant coach Nate Lenzer. Coach, it is outstanding to see you and get a chance to chat with you for the first time here in person. Welcome. This is your first time in these brand new studios. But for you, there's a lot to talk about. 11-0. Freshly off a tremendous buzzer-beating win on the road in the Big Ten road opener at Illinois. There's a lot of good things to talk about. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah, it's always good to come over and talk about these guys and talk about our programs. So excited to formally meet you and talk to some of our fans today.
What was that huddle like, or locker room after the shot, Jamarcus Lawrence shot? First, take me in the huddle previous to that possession and getting that look for Jamarcus Lawrence, and then after the celebration, all of it.
Yeah, I think just in general, our guys were locked in going to that game. It's an emotional week on a lot of levels, but yet we prepared well. We talked about what it was going to look like. We have some players that have played in that building, some that it was new for, and just in general, just wanted to control what we could control. Knew there was going to be some runs throughout the game, and didn't want to get lost, whether it was with the crowd, whether it was the opponent, and just wanted to stay in the moment. And I thought, obviously, we started the game very well. Obviously, a good team like that, Illinois, is going to punch back and make their run. And they had a big run going into halftime. And there wasn't panic in the locker room at halftime. There wasn't panic the first 4 minutes of the second half. I thought we got the game back settled. And to your point, talking about the end of the game, I just thought our mindset was good coming in and out of every huddle. And to the guys' credit, they executed. I mean, hats off, obviously, to Jamarcus for knocking down the shot, but just the whole sequence of them hitting a three, coming back and scoring, them hitting another three, and just having the poise to make the final play on that stage just says a lot about our team and its character.
Yeah, poise is a really good word. What was it, a 13-0 run, I think, going into half that tied things up? You guys had gotten out to a pretty big lead on the road in the Big Ten. That gets squashed, so you have to reset a little bit at half. Take me in the locker room at half when you guys are saying, look, it's tie game, starting 0-0. It's a brand new game. How do you approach that after Illinois goes into the half pretty hot?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, we really break down each game possession by possession and each 4-minute game by 4-minute game. Each media timeout is essentially going to be a 4-minute game. So from there, you've got 10 4-minute games, and that's how we practice, that's how we prepare, and we have goals for those 4-minute games, and hitting off of what you were saying, the first 2 4-minute games of the first half, we really controlled the game and we controlled the tempo. And to your point, they got loose on some offensive rebounds and some things that they do really well. And I mean, that's 5th ranked offensive team in the country, obviously a top 15 team, and had a ton of quad one games already. So we knew we were up for a big task, and there was going to be some runs. And again, I thought mindset was good. At halftime, we've been in situations where we've come out of halftime well, and some that we haven't come out as well. And I thought the starters did a nice job of getting the game back on track in that first 4-minute game. And then, like I said, just kind of took it one 4-minute game at a time and punch, counter punch. That's kind of life on the road, especially in the Big Ten. And night in and night out, you're facing good teams, so you better be ready to go. And if you get in your feelings, it can get ugly. So I give our guys a lot of credit. The talk was good. The leaders stepped up, and we were able to execute.
You never know who's going to be hot going into a game. And Price, boy, he was hot in the first half. You see everything go down from your vantage point on the bench to see him locked in the way that he does. Finishes up with a career high, 32 points. I believe 26 of that was before half. He was 10 of 13, 6 of 8 in the first half from 3. Just to see his ability to get a shot off, find his way off screens to get open. What did you see from Price and what was just a remarkable first half?
Well, the thing I'd say in general is, especially from a defensive perspective, is, when we put this team together, especially, and we saw them for the first time in June, it's easy to tell that we were going to be hard to guard. And that it wasn't necessarily just all eggs were in one basket. We had multiple guys, and we've seen it. Price obviously had it rolling in the first half. Rinks had big moments. Jamarcus on down the list, you just keep going. Sam has had his moments. Obviously, we took a hit with Connor, and I know how hard he can be to shut off. So Braden Frager has had his moments. Like there's a lot of weapons, and we addressed some things in this offseason with our recruiting, and we wanted a bunch of guys that could shoot, pass, and dribble. And when you have that, and you have unselfish players like we do, and high-character guys, then that allows you to essentially find the hot hand, ride the hot hand, but also know that, if adjustments are made, that we can make adjustments as well, and start to move to other guys as well. I mean, I think you look at even Jared Garcia down the stretch too, stepping up and making some critical plays down the stretch. We've got some weapons out there offensively, and we continue to play the right way, and we'll be hard to guard.
And, I mean, for those that don't know, you work a lot with the defensive side, and the way this team is defended hard. I've talked to Fred a bunch, and he mentions the number of deflections is one big thing that you guys go back and look at after every single game, the activity of getting into passing lanes, just the overall energy and effort, Coach, on the defensive side. I would assume you're pretty happy with what you've seen.
Yeah, life as a defensive coach, you're never happy.
I know that. I knew that was going to be the answer.
There's there's a human nature. You're always fighting the urge to be complacent in today's day and age. I think that's in general. So, but to answer your question or to talk about it, I mean, we have things that we can do very well defensively, and then there were things that we're going to have limitations. And I think each team, each group is that way. I mean, we have a defensive philosophy that we've had the last few years. The personnel can change from year to year, so the system might look a little different from year to year, but the overall philosophy is going to be the same. And we've got guys with good character, good IQ. When we're connected, when we're active, we can be the sky's the limit. But anytime one piece is not aligned or those standards aren't met, that puts everything at jeopardy. So I think that's part of our vision, part of our goal is to make sure that we're playing to the standard each and every possession, each and every practice, and then from there, let the doors open from there.
What does that philosophy tend to look like for you? When you pop on that tape, what do you need to see from your group defensively?
Yeah, this group specifically, and we've talked a lot about it. I just in general, I love I love teaching these guys. I love working with these guys, and I love getting in the film room with these guys because I think there's a lot of noise in general in a lot of these kids' lives. So the ability to be able to teach, to be able to connect, to be able to correct on the practice floor in a film room is gold, I think, for these kids, and especially in today's portal era where time is limited, and that's okay. We embrace it. We know that, and we started with this group, like we said, in June, and the things that we talk a lot about, we got to be scrappy, we got to be disciplined, and we got to be determined. We're not going to be the most athletic group. We don't have a bunch of shot blockers, things like that as an example. But if we do those three things and control what we can control and function as a unit, we can perform against some really, really high-octane offenses we're going to see. And but at the end of the day, we have to continue to grow and continue to get better. It's the whole thing. If we want to stay where we're at, you're going to get passed. And I think the big thing with this group, and we talked about it as a group as well, we didn't sign up for a 5 or a 10K. We signed up for a marathon. And obviously to this point, we've played 11 games and with 2 exhibitions. Had 111 practices. We have 50 to go, and we'll see where this thing goes from here. But I know one thing: we're going to push them, we're going to correct them, we're going to teach them, and we got a group that has done a nice job of taking hard coaching and graduating from some mistakes that they've had early, and we'll see where we continue to grow from there.
We did have a question on the text line, and Coach, I don't want you to answer this because I don't want you to get in trouble, but I just want to reference Pat from Kearney. He said, ask Coach if he thinks the officials were one-sided on Saturday. So I'm not going to have you answer that question. I'm just going to acknowledge that Pat had put that in the chat. Pat, we appreciate you reaching out to the show. I know if you're on Twitter, you hear all sorts of opinions on officiating. But this last 3-game stretch, Coach Hoiberger said this is a monster. This is a gauntlet. Creighton, Wisconsin, Illinois. You played, you look at it in a season in totality, it's 11 different games. It's not just these 3 games, but these 3 specifically, considering the opponents that you played and even some of the tough opponents you played in Kansas City. What has clicked, you think, specifically over these last 3 games where you beat a very good Creighton team by 21, a good Wisconsin program by 30 points? What is different about this team in this stretch?
Well, I'd like to say nothing, to be honest with you. We've tried to prepare these guys for moments, for stretches like this. And, if we prepare to be the best version of ourselves day in and day out, then it really shouldn't matter who we're playing, where we're playing them, and when we're playing them. And I still, Coach speak cliche-ish, believe in controlling the things you can control. And if we have the proper mindset every day in practice and attack each and every day with the right mindset, then whatever perceived adversity is thrown at us, we'll be ready to hopefully withstand and be the best version of ourselves. And I think if we keep hitting on these guys of being the best version of themselves, not get caught up in the noise and get caught up in everything that's outside the lines, then we have a much better chance of performing within the lines.
Yeah, I think it's really, and it's a hard, delicate balance, right? Because this program it's off to its best start in program history. You have the highest AP ranking since the early 90s. Look at me. I mean, I'm providing the rat poison here. That's what Nick Saban always calls it. But every single day you have to remind these guys that, look, we're only a small chunk of the season, and the season doesn't get defined by what you did by December 15th. Like that constant message, you almost have to do it ad nauseum, right? Just keep drilling it to them that, yeah, we're 11-0, we're doing great things, we're 15th in the country, but this is not where it stops.
Yeah, and I think that's why, again, that was the message today is, again, we didn't sign up for a 5K and a 10K. It's like if we go for a record time right now and we signed up for a marathon, then we didn't finish the marathon. So, again, I it's good. It's good for the fans. It's good for the program. It's good for the buzz and all that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's if we continue to kind of cut through the fog of what's good or what's bad, if you do hit a rough stretch, then that way you're not riding as much of the momentum of the season, whether it's good or bad, and just put one foot in front of the other. Stay laser focused on being the best version of ourselves tomorrow in practice, and then attack the next day from there. I mean, that's just you talked about poison. I mean, one of the things we talked about after the Wisconsin game is, held up a phone in front of the guys and said, "What is this?" It was a phone, but I said, "No, this is poison." And right now it is poison. Other than obviously the people you're talking to, your family and stuff like that, and I get that and understand that. So, I mean, we got young, influential minds. I mean, we got good kids, we have good character, we have good maturity in our locker room. But to your point, like, we talk a lot about not getting too high or too low. So I think part of that is continuing to teach and grow and continuing to attack each and every day and see what doors open from there.
Chatting with Nate Lenzer, assistant coach of the Nebraska basketball Cornhuskers. And obviously, Coach, you look at Rink Mast and what he's done. You've coached some pros, right? So you've been around some really, really good players. Where does he stand out in his poise, his professionalism, the way he slows down the game? He's able to do so much. He's just a matchup nightmare. When you talk about his game, what he's like to coach, what stands out there?
The thing that impresses me about Rink, especially, yes, I've coached in pros, so like I've seen Pau Gasol work and Jimmy Butler work and Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade, so Hall of Famers, so the best of the best, but yet I've also seen a lot of very good college players too go about their craft, and at the end of the day, the thing that even since day one is that Rink's got just such a maturity about him, and if he's in an individual workout, he's locked in and he's given max effort, and his attention to detail is always spot on. He's not a wind-up guy. He's a guy that you have to honestly sometimes make sure he doesn't. You have to wind him down to protect him from himself. So for him to be out of basketball for 15 months, and for him as how he's had to evolve, he can't put everything he wants to into the fine-tuning things of his workouts. He's still got to make the main thing, and when it comes to games, but yet still stay sharp with all his things. But you can reason with him, you can talk with him, you can explain it to him, and he's one of the smartest guys that I've ever coached. He cares. He's been in good programs. He knows what winning looks like, and we're just very fortunate to have him in our program.
He gets better as the game goes along. Case in point, the Illinois game had 12 after half, and 5 of 8 from the floor, hit a couple threes. So he was really, really big down the stretch in the win against Illinois. Fans, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. The Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Have another segment. We'll have a couple more segments here with Coach Lenzer. I'll have a special guest as well. Final segment, Cale Jacobsen will join the show. So plenty to do, plenty to talk about. The Nebraska Cornhuskers off to an 11-0 start, 15th ranking in the new AP poll coming out. So a lot to dive into with Coach. More right after this.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the end of the year at Woodhouse Ford, and that means it's the perfect time to unwrap incredible savings across the entire Ford lineup. Whether you're searching for a tough, ready-for-anything truck or an SUV built to take your family into the new year with confidence, Woodhouse Ford has the right fit for every lifestyle. Browse our full selection, explore year-end specials, and start your next chapter behind the wheel of a new Ford. Visit us online or stop by one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations today.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Shop Woodhouse Hyundai during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Receive 0.99% APR for 60 months or 2.99% APR for 72 months on the full lineup of 2026 Hyundai Palisades. Plus, rest easy with Hyundai Owner's Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at woodhousehyundai.com or woodhouseplacehyundai.com with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, 10% down or trade equity. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must finance through Hyundai Motor Finance. Stock number H260036. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
1 year, 0 interest. With a qualifying seed purchase from Central Valley Ag by October 17th, you can unlock 0% financing for 1 full year on seed and crop protection. The first 10 growers to enroll this week in the CVA Go Early Seed Program will receive 100 units of free CVA Elite soybean seed treatment. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs Midwest John Deere dealers, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Back with Nate Lenzer, who is assistant coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers basketball team, off to a tremendous unbeaten start, won 15 in a row, longest win streak in the country dating back to last year. But again, we're not going to continue to bring up all that rat poison here with Coach before he gets angry at me. But we're talking some defense, talking some players who went through rink mass and sort of his journey going through the knee injury. And, you know, I watched this team play and see a guy like Sam Hoiberg, right? It's what's unique about this team and why it's fun to dream is because it's it's led by veterans. And it's hard to do that now in college basketball with guys moving in and out that don't stay with a program for more than 1 year. But it's a group that's a good core. It's an older core. And you look at a guy like Sam Hoiberg, his energy, his effort helps you on the defensive end. How does Sam, is he sort of the glue that binds a lot of what you guys have together?
Yeah, I just think, I mean, like all these players, kids, like people get excited, 11-0, all that. Like Sam Hoiberg was, when I first met him, a second grader with his brother, and I was running camps for coach at Iowa State, and we had to make sure Sam and Charlie didn't go up against each other in camp because it was going to be a blow-up. So so that you go from that, and then our time in Chicago, and he's growing up, and then I didn't really see Sam play in high school because I was still in Chicago, so I didn't see him his high school basketball here. And my first year here was Sam's first year, and when I rejoined coach, he said, Sam's going to be one of our walk-ons. So, and that first year had a long ways to go. I mean, and he redshirted that year. He was on the scout team. I had a lot of work with the scout team that year, and it was going to take some work, and it was going to take some time. And obviously he had the right name, and he got the right opportunity. But the thing that I liked about Sam, and I coached him very, very hard on that scout team too, is he probably thinks he's been coached harder than others, but he's done a great job of taking hard coaching and getting better, and he's earned a spot. Like at the end of the day, I tell all these guys, like, because I've been in the NBA and the G League, and guys get favors and da-da-da-da. Well, at the end of the day, we all need some sort of favor, and we need some sort of opportunity at the end. But it's up to you to decide and make the most of the opportunity. And I think Sam epitomizes just what it means to get an opportunity, take advantage of the opportunity, earn the opportunity. And, after that first year, we revamped his first year was my first year, and we revamped a lot of things from his redshirt year to his freshman year. We revamped how we recruited, who we coached, to how we did things defensively and the whole structure. And it started going into his redshirt freshman year with how we did some things defensively that were much different. And to his credit, he bought in like crazy to the new defense. And you think of Sam Hoiberg, Fred Hoiberg's son, you're going to think shooter. But to his credit, he got on the floor because of his grit, because of his toughness, because of his defensive abilities, and didn't start the year in the rotation, had some injuries, and then when he got his opportunities at the end of that freshman year, he capitalized on it, and he's grown from year to year, each part of his game. And to your point, like, we got a lot of great examples, but like, going from the black team, which is our scout team, and just taking a different path. Like I always say this, and it's the same thing. Like, you're either an asset or a liability, and he's proven to play winning basketball, and if you play winning basketball, it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, what your name is, what it isn't, and because this is competitive sport, and we're always looking for guys that impact winning, and Sam impacts winning. Yeah,
he's just, his decision-making on the floor is next level. And I want to get to your journey. We were talking a little bit about it during the break, but I think it's incredibly unique. You've been the assistant at the college ranks. You've been in the NBA. You've been a video coordinator in the NBA. You've been a G League head coach with this Windy City Bulls. You've seen it from all different angles. Now, college, more than ever, it's become sort of like the pros with you have a yearly free agency. But there's still differences between college and the pros. Your experiences, how has it maybe helped you coaching in this climate of college basketball? It's probably prepared you to make it feel like it's old hat the way college is run now.
Yeah, I think, philosophically, to me, my mom was a teacher. I was a PE teacher back in the day, alternative school teacher. Like, coaching is teaching, and it's trying to make an impact. And I think what's changed maybe in college is that, the days of having 4 or 5 years with a player has changed, obviously. But my time in professional basketball really, I think, helped me to understand that, you might have a 10-day contract, you might have a summer league guy, you might have a pre-draft workout with a guy, you might have a full year. But if you pour into the human, if you pour into the person and give them everything you have, then it's ultimately about helping them be the best version of themselves. And that's been my philosophy at the end of the day too. I'm very competitive. I love sports in general. I like winning. I hate to lose. But I also enjoy embracing tough, embracing adversity, and trying to help humans get better in whatever that looks like. So I think if you have that mindset, then maybe the days of what things look like in college athletics don't become as important. It's like, okay, we're the people in front of us who's a part of our program, who's decided, ultimately to choose us and choose our program, and how do we make the best impact we can while they're here. And that might be 1 year, that might be 2 years, that might be 9 months, whatever it is. But I think if we just go with that mindset, then it's a little easier. I think, to your point too, I mean, kids are getting paid, they're getting different situations from the NIL and the revenue sharing and all that. Like, your ego tends to get checked at the door when you're in an NBA locker room, and guys are making 20 and 30 million, but you still have a job to do. You still have a purpose to do, whether it's a scouting report you're telling them, whether it's working on an individual skill or something like that. So I think that time in the NBA helped me to, not get caught up in, okay, this guy's making 20 million and I'm not. If your heart's in the right place and you're coming from the right place and you can ultimately help the person, they're going to listen. And if you're about the wrong things, then they're not. And it just becomes as simple as that. And that's just how I've tried to attack whoever's decided to join our program.
Now, it's also worth mentioning, too, you were an elite athlete yourself, played baseball at Iowa State. We're a 4-sport athlete in high school, so baseball, basketball, football. You had golf in there. I had this note, and I want to confirm it. Fell 2 tackles shy of the school's single-season tackles record behind Trev Alberts. Is that true? Former AD here in Nebraska?
That is true, and elite. I appreciate you saying that.
Yes.
Maybe my kids are listening right now.
Elite.
I don't know if elite's the right word, but yeah. And obviously Trev's had his impact here in the football program and things like that. So yeah, but I went to the same high school as Trev, and he graduated with my older brother. So I just, like for me growing up, my mom, my dad, they just said you got to be well-rounded. So I did my academics, took those seriously, did band, I did orchestra.
Really?
But the things that probably I was the most passionate about were obviously sports. And I always just used to say that my favorite sport was whatever season it was. And, I've always loved competing. I've always loved getting better. I had ups and downs in every sport that I was in. But the personal gratification of trying to displace stereotypes, but then also just the moments you have in a locker room and with teams and celebrating and trying to come together on victory is just something that at an early age I found passionate. So that was, when that career, whatever that ended, I just knew that probably being in coaching or something like that would make sense for me.
What was the instrument that you played in band, orchestra? So I always played the recorder. I feel like that was one we all played at one point in middle school. Everyone's shaking their heads back there because they've all played recorder at some point. It's like everybody was like born with a recorder. When you got in school, they handed one to you. What was your instrument?
The band is interesting. So I was a very late bloomer. So I was like 93 pounds my freshman year. And in junior high, you could pick an instrument. Of course, I picked the biggest instrument. So I had a tuba.
I love it.
For bands. So practice with a sousaphone in a chair in my living room, and it took up half of the living room. And then also, my parents early. So I was like, usually you didn't start orchestra till I think 5th or 6th grade, but for whatever reason, my mom got me into orchestra early. So I played the cello in 1st grade and wore prosthetic a lot growing up, and so had to have the strings restrung and had to bow in my left arm instead of the right. So I don't know. It was something, I don't know how or why we came up with that, but it was something that I did at a very early age. And again, my mom she did not have to wind me up at all when it came to sports, but to her credit, she always wanted me to be well-rounded, and I'm very appreciative for that because, adversity comes in different ways, and just being able to be well-rounded, I think, is a cool skill that I was able to be exposed to.
Absolutely. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. One more quick segment with Coach Lenzer. That's next here on the Nebraska Basketball Show.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Basketball Show. Kyle Crooks and Coach Nate Lenzer talking Nebraska hoops. Have about 3 minutes left with Coach. We'll have a conversation with Cale Jacobsen coming up in the final segment. But, Coach, I know we were talking during the break. Probably need 30 minutes to talk about the impact of Cale Jacobsen. But your just overall thoughts of a guy that I know you love being a part of this program.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the big things we've talked about and shift and just understanding being the best version of ourselves as a program. Respect 94 is a huge thing within our program, and understanding the length of the court is 94 feet, and if we play the right way, the game has a much better chance of rewarding ourselves, and understanding that it's a privilege, it's an honor to go out on that basketball court, represent this program, this state, that jersey that's going to be there. That's been there a long time, and it's going to move on. But Cale Jacobsen is, you know, honestly one of the first people that I got to see in the first summer and recruit, and he's just the epitome of a team first, great human. Does not take a single day for granted. Loves Nebraska, loves his state, doesn't take a play off, knows our system inside out, upside down, and is a great example of running your own race. One of the things I talked to him about even in the spring, because we brought in some new players in the spring, and he didn't have really a whole lot of opportunities. He played his spring recruiting after his senior year because he missed the year before with an ACL injury, and ended up getting a Holy Cross offer, I believe, and a North Dakota offer, and had some other good D2 programs. But we didn't promise him anything. We talked about an opportunity, and then after that, it was going to be up to him to run his own race, and didn't know what that would look like. Coaches played freshmen, walk-ons, whoever, but at the end of the day, you get what you earn, and it took him a while to get his opportunity, and now that he's got his opportunity, it's been awesome to see the impact he's made on the court that our fans have seen, but deep down, anybody in our locker room knows the impact he's made on our program since the day he's been here.
Yeah, just part of the standard setter. You know, he's one of those guys. Coach, we appreciate you coming up. I know it's busy this time of year. You're going from scout to scout, but great start, and you're a big reason for it. So we appreciate you coming up and talking some hoops.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Great to meet you. And as always, go Big Red.
Assistant Coach Nate Lenzer, appreciate him hopping in for the hour. We'll have Cale Jacobsen with Jessica Coody. We'll have that in the final segment next.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Here at Boot Barn, our objective is to build the perfect boot. We do take our time ensuring that every step is done correctly. For a boot to last you for a lifetime, you've got to properly build the boots. Hand craftsmanship is, in my opinion, the only way you're going to achieve that. We handcraft our boots. 160 people take a boot from start to finish. We have skilled artisans at every stage of the game. We've been handcrafting boots since the beginning here at Boot Barn, and we'll continue to do so.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of, and Blue believes in you.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. The Huskers basketball team off to a perfect start, 15th in the country. Big reason why you have role players like Cale Jacobsen. Our very own Jessica Coody had a chance to sit down with Cale earlier today.
First of all, when you're first learning Nate's system, what is that process like? Because I know a lot of guys come in and joke, and it's a little bit different, right? So what is it immediately when you are learning it that you have to know this is the most important thing?
I think, we have our most important guy is the MIG, and we don't give up on contested layups. That's what we talk about all the time. If you're giving up layups and threes, you're in trouble. And so our goal is to take away the paint. And you're the most important guy. Like, don't mess that spot up because you're going to be the most yelled at guy if you continue to do that. And so I just think it's a different way, and it confuses people the way that we guard. But when we're on point and our rotations are on point, obviously it looks smooth and it confuses and throws people off. So,
what is it about the system that it works and it is confusing, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the way that we rotate off the ball, like we talk about it all the time. We're not a 1-on-1 defense; we're a 5-on-5 defense, and it takes all 5 guys to be connected and to be on the same page. And when we're not, then that's when we get in trouble. And so to have the accountability amongst each other and with Coach Nate, like there's no plays off on the defensive end. And we have to continue to fly around and keep getting deflections. But it takes all 5 guys rather than just one.
Seems like communication is huge.
Yep.
And and even Amy Williams said she walks by the gym and it is loud, the way you guys communicate. That's important too, right? Because you are moving and rotating so much, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of rotations, and when you get two to the ball in basketball, like you're playing 3-on-4 on the backside or 4-on-3, and so you have to be able to clean that up. And if you run 2 to the ball again because nobody talks, now you're playing 3-on-1, and now you're really in trouble. So just everybody has to use their voice and has to be disciplined and continue to talk each other through the possession.
How about the deflections, too? Because that's a big key. I mean, you get a lot of steals, but Coach Hoiberg always harps on the deflections, too. What's the key in getting a bunch of deflections and getting your hands in the right places to kind of deflect the passes or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I think just to slow the basketball down, right? Like good offenses move the ball quick, and a deflection makes them think. It makes them obviously have to go catch it differently. And it's just harder to shoot a ball off a deflection. So the more deflections we can get, the more it takes teams out of rhythm. And then that allows us to get our defense set and to catch up and to then dictate kind of what the offense does rather than play catch up all the time.
So what makes one good at getting deflections?
You got to have your hands ready. And Coach Nate, he's always, obviously with the one arm, he's like, you got to have 2 hands up because I can't do it. So he jokes about that all the time. But yeah, we talk about palms and being in a stance. And if your hands are in your pockets on the defensive end, you don't really have a chance to get a deflection because the ball moves too fast. So just having your hands active and ready to go. all the time, on and off the ball. Like, that's how we get deflections.
If someone had never met Nate Lenzer and was asking you about him, how would you describe him?
Oh, geez. He's an energy bunny. He just never runs out of energy. He always says, like, I'm going to give you my best, so you better give me yours. And he holds us to that standard, right? Like, there's not a day in the last 4 years that I've been here that Coach Nate has been tired or groggy at practice that he shows. I'm sure on the inside he feels it, but he's the same every single day. And that's something that you can appreciate as a player, right? You know what you're going to get from him, and you know the standard that he holds us to. And if you're not falling short, he'll let you know. But when you do, right, when we achieve our goal and when it looks good, he's going to be the first one to pat you on the back. So he just is the same. He's consistent, and that helps our group. Like, that's what we need from him.
I was talking to Jamarcus the other day after the win over Creighton. You guys got some guys banged up a little bit and some guys playing a lot of minutes. How are you guys going about making sure that you're taking care of yourself and the bodies before you go into the grind of the Big Ten Conference play?
Yeah, I mean, I think give a lot of credit to our training staff, our strength coach, Kurt and Andrew. They spend a lot of time just with what to do outside of practice, like when to tub, when to get to the weight room and do some extra just flush stuff with our bodies.
Yoga.
Yeah, when to do yoga. Yep, we do yoga all the time, it feels like. So they've done a great job of just making sure that we're doing the right things. And I also think when we have an older group, like there's guys that have been through the rigor of the Big Ten, and they know what it's going to be like. And so they know what they need to do and what works best for them. Rink has the longest post-practice routine I've ever seen, and he does it every single day, but it's working for him, right? And he shows up and he feels good the next day. So people just they've been doing it for a while, and they know kind of what it takes at this level.
Yeah, for sure. You a big yoga guy?
I need to be a big yoga guy. It's good for me.
Well, hey, it's finals week. What's this week look like for this team? I mean, you got to take care of your business in the classroom, right?
Yep, and I think a lot of guys try to get their stuff done kind of through this Monday through Wednesday. So then when prep for North Dakota comes out on Thursday is kind of when we'll start diving into their stuff for real. We can kind of really lock in on that game because this is our week off, but it's not. We can't take it as an off week. Like, we need to be locked in all 5 days or 6 days now and prepare for North Dakota before this Christmas break. So that's what we talked about today was we're not looking ahead to Christmas. Our break starts on Sunday at 10 o'clock.
Good stuff with Jess and Cale Jacobsen here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. Interesting story for Cale, local guy, Ashland, Nebraska, and gets a chance to be a part of this Husker program and really help build the culture and build this now to what it is. And, you know, we can mention it as rat poison, but it is what it is right now. And some of the stats that Seamus, the great sports information director for men's basketball, is getting a chance to dig up. But 11-0, program's best start in the program's entire history, 15th consecutive win going back to last year. That's the nation's longest active win streak. That continues. First win at Illinois since January 16th of 2016. First 2-0 start in conference play since the 16-17 season. You have the highest AP ranking since 1991. You have a net ranking of 12th. All that to say, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played, including a game on Sunday. That'll be a 7 p.m. Central tip, so that means we're on the air with Kent and Jeff at 6 local time against North Dakota. Tuesday, December 30th against New Hampshire, and it all leads up to Michigan State, a ranked team, most likely a top 10 team in town, right after New Year's Day. So after the bowl game, hopefully PBA can be really loud on that Friday night leading into the weekend. That'll be popping. Huskers and Michigan State Spartans. If it's anything like the last two environments, we're set. Nate Lenzer and Cale Jacobsen, we appreciate them. Jessica Coody joins me for Sports Nightly. Plenty to talk about. That's next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
The work is dirty. and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, the Big Ten Conference announced that Husker men's basketball player Price Sanford was named co-Big Ten Player of the Week. The junior averaged 23 points per game on 64% shooting in Nebraska's wins over Wisconsin and Illinois. Nebraska moved to number 15 in both the AP and coaches polls on Monday, marking the Huskers' highest AP ranking since 1991. In other Husker news, star setter Bergen Riley was named a finalist for the AVCA Player of the Year award. The other three finalists are Olivia Babcock from Pitt, Mimi Collier from Wisconsin, and Eva Hudson from Kentucky. The announcement will take place on Friday at the awards banquet in Kansas City. And senior shot putter Axelina Johansson was named an NCAA D1 National Athlete of the Week, following her record-breaking throw over the weekend. She threw for a mark of 19.72 meters to shatter her own school record, while also setting a Swedish record and an NCAA record. And finally, Week 15 of the NFL season ends tonight as the 6-7 Dolphins take on the 7-6 Steelers. Kickoff is set for 7:15, and it can be watched on ESPN. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Lawrence to throw it in. Garcia runs to it. Catching it inbounds is Hoiberg. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Hoiberg across the division line. We got 10, 9. Everybody flat along the baseline except for Sam out into the timeline. 5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it.
Ball fake on Finnegan. Spins around. Flips it back out top. Kennedy Williams. Shot clock at 11. Game clock at 37. Kennedy will step into a 3. Top of the key. Big get in. You betcha. A CBA banker for the freshman.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome in hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Great stuff. Coach Linzer, he's awesome.
Yeah, really, his story is just interesting. He's coached college. He's, of course, been in the NBA. He's been with Coach Hoiberg for a long time, but has an interesting story, inspiring story. Good baseball player at Iowa State, four-sport athlete in high school, and now he's the defensive guru for these 11-0 Huskers.
Well, fantastic stuff for the Huskers at Iowa. We can talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. Just absolutely devastated about volleyball. We'll talk about that as well. So lots to get to here in this hour. And, even without a team that's in Kansas City, we've, I guess in the last 24 hours, have got quite the busy week. A lot to get to here over this next week, even without any games being played. We've got a lot of interviews, and we're going to hear from the new football assistant coaches. Coach Rule's meeting with the media. We've got football availability. So it's kind of turning out to be a busy week for having no games.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I found myself, I was sitting next to John Baylor yesterday at volleyball doing some social stuff and interview stuff as things. And I was just sitting around, and I said to myself after that match, sports can really stink sometimes.
It hurts.
It's devastating, and I've been through it as a fan. You've just teams that you love that you feel like are on track to do something, and it also shows that it is really hard to win a championship because you still need things to align. You need health to align. You need good fortune within matches and games to win championships. You need matchups to go your way. The hardest thing to win, I think, is the NCAA tournament, men's and women's, because they're so predicated, especially on the men's side, on matchups. You could be a great team in the regular season, dominate your conference, get the wrong matchup at the wrong time in March, and then all of a sudden you're kicked out and you can't win a championship. But this team is one of the best that I think we've ever seen in the sport, and for it to fall short is devastating. But also you could celebrate just how good they were.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk more volleyball here coming up in segment number 2, but Did want to get to the big news of the day unfolding here this afternoon as multiple reports coming out that Dylan Raiola, the quarterback, does plan to enter the transfer portal, and there's been speculation. We've been talking a lot about it over the last month or so, and seems like it is going to be happening that Raiola is going to enter the transfer portal, and it's kind of been a crazy day, and it's only going to get crazier, I think, with how many players that are the transfer portal, but especially for quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks that entering the portal.
Yeah, I guess today was the day that everyone came together and said, we're going to announce that we're going into the transfer portal today. There's been a lot of news on that front, specifically with quarterbacks, some of the big names around the country, including one that the Huskers played to start the season, Brendan Sorsby at Cincinnati, DJ Lagway at Florida, some really prominent names that were very high recruits at that position going into the transfer portal. Look, if you were to ask me, am I surprised? No. That's how these things work now, especially in college athletics. When you saw him go down in the third quarter against USC, would I have been shocked if you told me on December 15th that we could find ourselves in a scenario where Dylan Raiola is no longer going to be the quarterback at Nebraska? Yeah, I definitely could have seen it. The way that people move in and out, it's hard to get attached to players now because it's more of a transactional business. I will say this, Dylan definitely left his imprint here. I think Husker fans, sometimes you tend to forget some of the good things, and he came in as a true freshman quarterback, and he was thrown into a tough situation to be a starter as a true freshman.
And a rebuild.
And the fact that he took this on, right? He took it on originally coming out of high school, understanding the legacy that from his father that had been built here, and deciding, I could have gone to a Georgia, I could have gone to Ohio State, but he gave it his all these last 2 years, and yeah, I haven't been around many athletes as mature as him, as somebody who's been able to kind of handle all of it. It's a lot to be the starting quarterback at Nebraska. So I give Dylan a ton of credit. I also think, too, it's, if you're in Nebraska now, we were talking earlier today, the portal officially opens on January 2nd, but I can tell you a lot of teams are already talking to players. That's how this works. This next month or so is going to be fascinating to see where Nebraska goes at that position. Is TJ your guy? If he's your guy, you still need to bring in somebody to, I would assume, compete with him. If TJ's perhaps not your true number one, then you're going to have to go out and probably spend some money for a quarterback. It's not cheap to bring in a quarterback nowadays into your program, so Pat Stewart has a lot of work cut out for him.
I will say this, and this is not going to be a program that is going to bash any player by any means, but I think you could give a huge kudos to Dylan Raiola for when he signed. He, again, it was huge. It was a 5-star and coming back, and he made it cool. And Coach Rule talked about this in a press conference recently. He made it cool for some of these high caliber recruits to sign here with Nebraska and guys in the transfer portal. Some of the highly sought after guys. He was very big on getting to Nebraska, but I personally think that, and I feel like that was a little bit of the tone that we heard from Coach Rule in his press conference last week when he had talked about, Dylan's got to be ready to make the next step and all that kind of thing. I kind of feel like maybe it wasn't quite as good of a fit for both parties anymore. I think if you look what Dylan did this year, and he's a great quarterback, but maybe not exactly what Nebraska wants in a quarterback, maybe more of a mobile quarterback. And I think maybe same thing for Dylan, maybe looking for more of an offense and a program that fits his more pro-style type of, play, I guess. And so I don't think it's one of those things where it's negative. I just think maybe for both parties, they could find better fits. And I think personally, I'm not all doom and gloom that, what are we going to do? Because I think this thing has now been built up. And as we've heard Coach Rule talk about, they've got the money and you've got to go out and do it. But I feel confident that they're going to be able to make the right moves to get the right guy in at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is nowadays in college football and college athletics in general is you could turn around a roster pretty quickly. And if you believe what Coach Rule has said and some of the resources around the football program is that they have the money necessary to go out and get some of the guys that they need. And whether it's just, it's more than quarterback that what this team needs. I mean, you need a lot on the line of scrimmage. You're losing a lot from your offensive line. You need some guys you need to go and get some guys on that defensive line. So we like to put a lot of emphasis on quarterback. Now, there's a lot of confidence, at least originally, I know after that UCLA game and what TJ Lateef brought to the table. He's still young. He was a true freshman this past year. He's going to be a true sophomore next year. So these are really tough conversations that have to be had over the next couple of weeks of, okay, what's our plan as we go and attack this transfer portal starting officially on January 2nd? Do we go into it saying that TJ Lateef is our guy, or do we go into it saying that we want to get a true one, or if TJ's your guy, get a 1A quarterback that perhaps is less expensive and could – battle for the job. So there's a lot of decisions and a lot of things that have to be talked about as they move forward to what this position is going to look like and how they're going to attack it.
Ken on the text line said, so much for the love for Nebraska. Show me the money. Guess he needs it. I disagree with that a little bit, Ken, because I'm not sure that he's a pretty high-paid quarterback right now at Nebraska, right? I mean, I think that's the reports are out there, fair to say. We don't know the exact number, but I think he's compensated very fairly here at Nebraska, and I'm not sure it's all about the money. I think it's more for both. It's about let's find better fits for each of us.
I'm not sure what Dylan's value is now coming off an injury, right? So is he going to make as much money as he makes now as he would at another place? Like, I don't want to get into somebody's pocket, so I don't necessarily know if this decision, if you're based on money, he probably stays, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Nebraska's in a place to compete, and he's making his value for what his brand is here at Nebraska is very high. And I mean, he's got the Adidas deal. We were talking about that. How does that work? if he goes to a school that's not Adidas. So I think, for that part of it, I think he does very well here at Nebraska. And I think he grew up a fan. I think he will always be a fan of Nebraska. I think for him, it's more about how can I be better prepared to get to the NFL. I think that's always been his ultimate goal, is to play a long time in the NFL, and how can he get himself prepared for that. I truly believe that conversations were had between Dylan and his family and this coaching staff to make sure that that it was done and, done the right way. And I don't know. I mean, we'll hear Coach Rule's going to meet with the media. He's actually going to be here on the show on Wednesday, and then he's meeting with the media on Friday. But I just disagree that, he doesn't love Nebraska. I think he's still going to love Nebraska his entire life, personally.
I think just the fit wasn't quite maybe what Dylan wanted at this point in his career, and that's fine. He's more of a pro-style quarterback that he's going to play at the next level, and perhaps there's a program out there that could fit his needs a little bit better. Did Dana Holgerson's offense hit its highest level that it could have this year? The answer is no, even when Dylan was in there. So how do they find a quarterback now? You turn the page. There's going to be a different starting quarterback in game one. How do you turn the page that's going to fit, bring in a guy that's going to fit Dana's offense the best way it possibly could? If that's TJ Lateef, fine, or if that's somebody else that's out there, they're going to put in the work to perhaps get a guy that's a little bit mobile in and out of the pocket and can make some difficult throws outside the pocket.
Got another text rolling in, didn't sign a name, but said, I believe this 2 years ago with Dylan and now with TJ, get a veteran for a year or two and help them develop more.
But also, that's true, but you're bringing in recruits here with the dream that you're going to play. Like if you're some of the other recruits, if you're a Trey Taylor in 27, or if you're a TJ Lateef, you've come in here, you got the experience. It's hard to recruit players to come in here and say, hey, you're going to play from a young age, or we're going to play you as a sophomore or junior, but when it comes time to play a sophomore or a redshirt freshman and you don't play him, then recruits can say, well, what happened there? So, I think best case scenario, you're probably going to bring in a higher priced veteran quarterback that's been around, has seen a lot of different situations. But also, I think this staff with another offseason of TJ Lateef, I'm not saying I have the answers, and I'm not saying TJ Lateef's going to be the guy, but I wouldn't think it's worst case scenario with the idea of you bringing in more playmakers out of the transfer portal and guys that you've built up here around TJ Lateef. I don't quite think that's worst case scenario to what some people might think.
Saw a crazy stat. This is Emily Proud. She works for the CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports, but she put out a post on X that said 8 5-star quarterbacks between 23 and 24 classes Only one has never entered the transfer portal, and that's Arch Manning. So, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, and you talked about it earlier. There are a lot of quarterbacks that have announced that they're entering the transfer portal here, even just in the last couple of days.
What was Fernando Mendoza's ranking coming out of high school? What was he, the 134th ranked recruit, 2-star recruit? He's about to play in a college football playoff and just won the Heisman. So it's, you could put so much on stars and things. And I think Dylan was a really good quarterback. I think the fit's probably going to be better at another spot for him. I think he has the right mindset, the right work ethic. He has incredible arm talent. I just think for this specific Dana Holgorsen offense, perhaps it wasn't the right fit for him right now. And also coming off of injury, maybe he just wants a fresh start, and there's nothing wrong with that.
402-413-2400 is that number. The phone lines are open if you want to call in. See the text rolling in. Again, be a part of it here with us tonight. Greg in Lincoln said, do what Iowa did this year with quarterback from South Dakota State.
Yeah, Gronowski, the 1-year deal, get in a proven older guy. But again, you can go that path. You sure could. But also Iowa has a lot of things around them that makes them Iowa, right? Really solid defense, really good offensive line, good run game. There's a lot of things Nebraska has to work on to get to that level.
Yeah, and I've had this conversation a lot here recently, and even with Jeremiah Searles. And I think, yes, ultimately to win a national title, I think you really do need elite quarterback play. But I think if you look at Coach Rhule's track record, a lot of what he's done has been being really, really good on defense and, special teams. And so I think, focusing on that and that excellent line play, which, again, we're going to hear from Jeep Wade. And I'm telling you, he's a great hire. You and I both got to talk to him today, and I walked away after talking with him like, I'm a believer. I know he hadn't coached in a game, but just hearing his conviction, how he talks, like his belief and the things that he wants to instill. And then, again, his stats have proven it where he's been, but I can see why Coach Rhule thought he was the right guy for the job.
Yeah, he's very energetic, relationship-driven, incredible recruiter. We also talked to Rob Orich today, which we'll have an opportunity to play that at some point during the week, but a couple of really, really good hires and some hires that eventually will be announced here soon also on the staff. But it's a really good group. I was out of practice today, Jess, and they were getting after it inside the indoor. The energy's there. Especially, this is a lot of the scout guys are getting a lot of reps right now and a lot of really, really well-needed reps. Coach Rhule is going one-on-one with a lot of the defensive linemen, too, so he's hands-on.
What's I think is going to be pretty interesting too. Again, the portal doesn't even open until that first week in January. So what you're seeing now is just guys making announcements. Now, I'm sure there will be, I don't know. I guess this is kind of the first time that we're going through this in this way, because last year at this time the portal was open, so guys were announcing where they were going. I mean,
it's open
on signing day, but it's not, can't be official, right?
No.
Until
it's
January.
Not open, but it's open.
So I'm interested to see if there's going to be announcements, if we're going to know where some of these guys are going, or if we won't know till January.
I don't think you can know until January because it can't be official till January.
I know it can't be official, but is there going to be like some of these guys that leak out, hey, I'm leaning towards going here, and then some of those reports we start to know that even before the portal opens.
Yeah, and if anything, that's to drive up their price for other schools too. There could be that where you could say, hey, I'm going to school X, and then school Y says, well, maybe we can sweeten our offer a little bit. It is very, very, this calendar is very strange. I was talking to a few people today. The fact it's almost, you could relate it to NFL free agency starting on wild card weekend of the playoffs, because we're getting set for a college football playoff. It's almost like if the more you win, the more problems you have putting together your roster for the next year, because you're in mid-transfer portal where you're building your roster for next season, but you're also getting ready for some of the biggest games that you'll play in your career as a coaching in your career. It makes zero sense. And Coach Rhule has been adamant, we need the portal to start in May. Go a whole academic year, have that one portal period was a good start. Now let's just put it in the right part of the calendar.
Chuck on the text line texted in O-line, D-line, Sorsby. I think a lot of people
wish it was that easy.
Are kind of a fan of potentially getting a guy like Sorsby. But I was going to actually ask you, if you went in, if you're Pat Stewart, what's your number one priority?
I think it's if TJ Lateef is the answer. Now, I think the bowl game is going to have a lot to do with their evaluation. It probably shouldn't, though. One game in a bowl game against a really good defense where you're not going to have Rocco Spindler, you're not going to have Emmett Johnson. Should you be all in on your evaluation of TJ Lateef? I think number one, if you think you need to go out and get a quarterback, that's one. And then I think defensive line is probably two. And you probably need, I think we'll find out more about Isaiah Mosey and Mekhi Nelson. Again, we don't know situations of guys. What's Nebraska roster going to look like heading into next year? Are they going to have the guys that we're even mentioning right now? I think running back probably fits in behind defensive line. And then offensive line, I think you have a pretty good stable of guys that you have here and some guys that they built up. I think it's time to see some of the younger guys maybe shine.
Be absolutely fascinating. Again, I have full belief in Coach Roll when he says, hey, we're positioned well, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds and what the competition looks like when you're talking about some of these guys that you need to go get. It's not like Nebraska's the only team in the country that needs an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman or a quarterback.
That's what's funny is every time these guys tweet things out, you get quote tweets from fans saying, come to our school. This is the slam dunk. Like, you know how hard it's going to be to get Brendan Sorsby to come? There's a lot of people that want a DJ Lagway, want a Brendan Sorsby. These guys are very high priced, and it's very, very competitive. But Pat Stewart, his job and what he has to do in dealing with agents who, I mean, most of the times the agents, and we love you, Searles, but they are lying through their teeth most of the time, agents, to say, hey, this school offered me this. There's no uniformity. There's no checks and balances. It is an impossible endeavor.
Well, and that's what he told us on signing day is that, because he coming from the NFL where what the highest paid left tackle in the NFL is.
There's no market. You don't know what the market is.
You don't know. You don't know.
Which is ridiculous.
All right. Again, appreciate the text coming in. And again, we're here live for, 3 more segments. Love to hear from you. 402-413-2400. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh. I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agents Reed Duvall, Natalie Kerr, or Mike Shefford in Lincoln today.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop Woodhouse Mazda during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Receive 0.9% APR for 72 months, plus no payments for 90 days on all remaining in-stock 2025 Mazda CX-50s. Visit us in Bellevue or Omaha off 144th and Giles Road today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. When financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number MM250911. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slated, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's holiday pro power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus zero down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Got a couple texts rolling in here. Want to get to quickly, and then I do want to talk about volleyball. Ken on the text line said, I like TJ. We need players who won't throw their teammates under the bus by leaving. Again, disagree. I think that that's the day and age that we're in. And I think maybe who's to say once this all plays out, you don't find a better fit at quarterback, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was just something where both parties, like I said earlier, needed better fits. And so I'm not going to bash Dylan by any means. I think that's just the day and age that we're in. There's lots of players that enter the portal, and it's not like they're throwing their team under the bus, because we're also benefiting. Nebraska's also benefiting quite a bit from getting players that come from the portal.
Yeah, it goes both ways, right? And we knew this day would come, most likely. The possibility of this day, of not Dylan, but just a player that you love transferring, and then the emotional kind of results of that. This is a fan base that right now it's in an incredibly emotional spot. You just view what the last 24 hours have been like, whether it's volleyball, and then you get the news with Dylan Raiola. There's especially when you have a fan base and a portion of the fan base that just hates the existence of the transfer portal, and now you have your star quarterback moving on. So I can understand the thoughts and feelings, but I think this is probably better for both parties.
Dank on the text line said, I never loved the idea of building a team around one person. Nebraska used to be known for things. We need to get back to that. I believe Rule has shifted in that direction, but I believe it's critical. The best teams are known for who they are, not the players they have, also the players. But you catch my drift. Example, Iowa D, USC offense, etc.
Yeah, there's some pretty good players out there. Ohio State, they're a good team because of the players that they have. You need a good culture. You need a good foundation, and that's taken a few years to build here for Coach Rule. I think a good foundation is in place, but to win games in the Big Ten, to win games in the SEC, to be playing in a college football playoff that's going to start later this week, you need dudes. You need Jimmies and Joes. Culture is great, but you need Jimmies and Joes to win games too.
Jim in Columbus said, unless we luck out and be like another Indiana rebuilding here at Nebraska, which I don't think we can, it'll take 2-3 more years for Coach Rule. I don't think very many. I think people think that Indiana can be duplicated. I'm not so sure that.
Yeah, tell me where that's happening.
But I agree. I mean, I think there's some some shifting and some rebuilding that are being done. But I do think they've got a lot of good pieces. They just need to, add the right additional pieces here for next season.
Part of it too, Jess, is this team is incredibly young. I think we forget about the youth.
There's a lot of young talent.
Now, you hope that stays because roster retention is huge. Now, the most difficult part of all this, and we were talking with Coach Lenzer in the basketball hour about you build all these guys and you get them to a point where they're at a good spot, and then all of a sudden they transfer. So that's the unfortunate aspect of the transfer portal. But it's a very young team that they're continuing to develop. They feel like they have the right coaches in here to continue that development. These bowl practices are huge. But now you have that youth a year older. How much does that help this team heading into what's going to be a really tough schedule next year?
Andy in Phoenix said, where is the NCAA? The portal being open while it's not open is a big problem. They need a commissioner. It's basically a free-for-all. So much tampering going on all season.
I don't think there's anything you can do about that, and I don't think the power conferences, specifically the Big Ten and the SEC, want to give power to a commissioner. So we've been talking about a czar, a college football czar commissioner. I don't think it's ever going to happen because you're taking away power from the Big Ten and the SEC.
Again, appreciate those texts, very active text line. But I mentioned want to talk some volleyball, and Kyle, I gave you one job to get to the Final Four.
Yes, look, you
it's
can
all
put
your
it.
fault.
You can put it on my shoulders. I've been known in the past to be a perennial loser.
But no, I just devastating. I mean, just heartbreaking. We talked about it a little bit just to open up the show, but this team was so dominant, and I do think, talent-wise, one of the best it's ever been assembled. And if they had won a national title, I think that conversation would have been had that this very well could be the best college volleyball team ever and potentially the best Nebraska team ever. But it just, man, we're hearing the stories about just how sick Bergen was, and then Campbell breaking her finger going into it. We were privy to that going into the weekend and thought Bergen would be okay, but she just was so sick, it sounds like, and it's not an excuse. And, Allie Check getting hurt. It's crazy. They had all this depth, and you didn't even really need it most of the time. They used it, they utilized it, but you didn't absolutely have to have it until you did, and when you did, it was almost like the drop like flies.
There were certain elements. I had a chance to be in the building sitting next to JB really on Sunday. I was there on Friday night as well. But there were certain points when Nebraska was fighting back in set 4 where I got goosebumps with the environment. But it was they got off to a really fast start to Nebraska, to that first set. And then credit A&M. That, man, never say die. You want to talk about a bad matchup. The one Lednicki, that outside hitter, was just 24 kills. Stowers as well, who was just those two players were a huge difference for Texas A&M. That fourth set was probably some of the greatest sports, just a game, any sport. That fourth set was, I think Nebraska was down by as many as 7 in that set. They come back. Set point after set point after set point.
Unbelievable.
It was it was the greatest theater it was the greatest sporting event, that section. I've been to some really cool games. That set was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in person. To get to that set 5, And then the issue is, okay, you had the momentum. You win that set. It was a 37-35, which is absurd. You get to the fifth set, but then A&M takes the momentum right back, and they have like a 5-point lead in that set 5, and just it was too much too late for Nebraska. You feel for Rebecca Alec and, for those that won't get to experience a national championship. But this team's set for next year, but you understand that this was a generational team.
Yeah, and just devastated for Rebecca Alec. You could feel her emotion, and I don't even know if it was volleyball that we were talking about, but you had said something last week or a couple weeks ago about those old teams. You want to get old, and those old teams are scary, especially this time of year and in tournament times, and especially we've seen it in basketball. And Texas A&M had 9 seniors, and they were here a year ago. They took Wisconsin to the brink. They had a lot of belief, and I think it's also safe to say now, going into it, we heard John Baylor, even Danny Busboom Kelly, a lot of folks around here thought Texas A&M was deserving of a higher seed, and if you're the number 1 overall seed, maybe you don't send someone like Texas A&M here. But again, that you can't make excuses like that. But I think Texas A&M, I'm just trying to make the point that Texas A&M is a very, very good team, and I think they would have beat some of the other number 1 seeds.
Yeah, I think it was one of those matches where the crowd was just waiting for the team to get going. Those first 2 sets, you could hear a pin drop.
I was watching on TV, but it looked like everybody was shell shocked.
People were like, "This is not happening." Like this,
pinch me.
This ain't happening. You're down 0-2, but their ability to fight back, win set 3, and then win a marathon set 4 says so much. They clearly weren't anywhere near to what they could be, but their ability to win set 3 and 4 told me a lot about this team specifically. It's gut-wrenching. I think a lot more credit goes to – people want to knock the Huskers. I think a lot more credit needs to go to Texas A&M and what they were able to do. A coach that knew the personnel really well, had coached them with Team USA. One of your best players, Andy Jackson, had one of the worst days at the office, right? And you could just sense it. And as a newbie, I look at the block numbers. When's the last time Nebraska was -9 in the number of blocks? They had only 8 blocks for the entire match.
And I just think the A&M and I was again watching TV and the replays, and they were bringing that up a lot about just how in sync. And I think that it looked like a team that had played a lot of volleyball together, and they were just so on the block, and they were just timing out perfectly, And so that just makes it tough.
There were some situations, Jess, where it's like Andy Jackson most days would send that ball into the core of the earth, and it'd be a point and all of a sudden it's blocked, lands on the Huskers' end, point, Aggies. Wait a second.
What's going on?
Wait a second. Harper had a couple of those. Wait a second. What's going on? And just sort of added up, and for the Aggies to come into an environment like this and do what they did is truly remarkable. And RIP to those hotels and restaurants in Kansas City.
Crazy. The ticket prices have dropped significantly. I know that there was going to be a Big Red takeover in Power and Light. There's a lot of folks disappointed, even outside of Nebraska, ESPN included, Yeah. There's a lot of entities involved that are disappointed that Nebraska is not continuing their run just because of what the program is, the brand that it is, and the numbers they bring, and all of the above. All right, we got to get to a break. Have a couple more thoughts on volleyball. Also had a couple more comments coming in, so we'll get to those as well. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slate It, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slated. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Got a couple segments left here on this Monday night show. Wanted to play a clip for you from the press conference after the Huskers' heartbreaking loss to Texas A&M in the regional final. It was the absolutely heartbroken Rebecca Alec, and met with the media press conference after the game, and she was having a hard time getting the response out to the question, and love to see the leadership out of Harper stepping in, and we wanted to play with that for you here tonight.
I just want to say Becca has put her heart and soul into this program, and you can tell by her face how much she cares. And I think, I don't even care if we win or we lose, because what I tried to tell Becca in the locker room is that she's going to take away the memories and the relationships that we've made. And winning and losing, yeah, it's a part of volleyball and it sucks, but she put her heart and soul into this program for 4 years. And she's leaving behind a great legacy and has so much to be proud of. We all see how much she cares. And, I mean, it's unbelievable. So.
And you look at that, Jess, in comparison to, a lot of people have talked about it, just how angry Harper was. Was it after the national championship?
When she's a freshman.
Yeah, and that kind of famous press conference when she was just angry and to where she's grown as a person. I think it shows the development from John Cook and then Danny Busby-Kelly and how they've helped Harper sort of mature into the adult she is now, and for her to step up for a leader in Rebecca Alec, who won't get that opportunity to win a national championship. I think that says a lot about how far Harper's come, just that clip in itself.
I also love, she referenced that too, about you could see her talking with the team after the game, and we don't have time to play the clip, but I was really moved by what she had said to that point about go back to what I said when I was a freshman, and there's a lot of people in the locker room saying I should have done this and taken faults and all of that, and you can let that creep up and take over, and you forget about the great things that were done. And I thought Danny laid it out perfectly as well. Just listen, there are times when you regret, but this is not a situation where we will regret leaving we gave it everything we had, and the situations that they were, the tough kind of cards that they were dealt in that moment. And people say, oh, they should have lost earlier. I don't necessarily think a loss would have helped. I think some of the circumstances they were dealing with internally, and it just was one of those nights where you can't have an off night. You can't have everything go wrong, to your point earlier about it's really hard to win a championship, and you still have to have the right timing and everything happen and line up. And I just think it was one of those nights, and they laid it all out there, I think, by evidence by that fourth set. But I love what Harper said about, hey, we've got to celebrate the things that we did do. We've got to learn from this, but we can't let it build into something where it's so negative that it takes over and causes this mental strain and emotional strain that is too much to handle.
Yeah, Danny said it. I believe the phrase was, we maxed out. We did everything that we could to win that match, and they went a full 5 sets, and you could just see in a college world now where it's so transactional and people move from point A to point B, to see how Harper is staying in one spot, becoming the person that she is now, I think shows a lot more to what the Husker program is in building individuals, not just athletes.
All right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up the show next.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slate it. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get a $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day. I got to go home and see my family again. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Welcome back. Final few minutes left here of Sports Nightly on this Monday night edition of Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. So we wanted to make sure and set you up for the week because it changed a lot on us, being that we will not be down in Kansas City, but we'll have a busy show week here for you on the network starting tomorrow night. Troy Dana going to be here for his monthly sit down with Kyle in that 6 o'clock hour. And Jonathan Bateman going to be here, which will be fascinating because there's a lot of new things unfolding with the NIL landscape.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, especially between Playfly and NIL. So we're going to dive into sort of that new relationship with 1890 winding down and what that looks like now for the future.
And then Amy Williams is going to be here for her it's been a little irregular on the appearances for the basketball coaches, but once we move into January, it'll be more weekly appearances for women's basketball, men's basketball. But we did get a chance, we will have a chance to chat with Amy Williams, and another program undefeated, and in the top 25, they continue to roll as well.
Can't lose. They beat up on, who was it, Illinois State on Sunday morning. I think that was 21-2. After the first quarter, so shout out Amy and her squad. They are beating up teams.
I think it's really, really neat to see the attention that both programs are getting together. Like there are a lot of folks on the men's side that have talked about Nebraska being one of the stories of the year so far, but it's also really neat to see the appreciation that the programs are getting together, both being undefeated, and very few schools can say that.
Yeah, I know Fred has brought it up in his press conference.
Amy talks about it, yeah.
And so it's really cool. Hopefully come March, you have two teams that are still ranked and getting ready for NCAA tournament games. I have a feeling it's going to be a really good March around here. Not a lot of schools can say that both their men's program and their women's programs are playing at an elite level and ranked in the AP top 25.
That Illinois game was something else. That was awesome.
21-2. Are you talking about the men? I thought you were talking about Illinois State. Yes. Jamarcus Lawrence. I'm like, we're still on the Illinois State game. By the way,
Illinois.
They had 5 to 6 inches of snow in Champaign, Illinois, so they're lucky they got out in time.
Heard Berkey was throwing some snowballs.
Well,
If
right.
if I would have asked you who would be your number one person on the men's basketball team that would be the first to throw a snowball, probably
Berkey.
Berkey.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but just knowing sort of his attitude, like good attitude to life, sort of like a bubbly personality, I guess. He's the class clown of the team. So I would, but
they say Fred told me today he's our TV show feature that he runs into the locker room singing the fight song at halftime.
I like it. How about this? Just the second half in general. I know we only have a few seconds left here, but the way that they continue is like a prize fight. Take a right hook, come back on the other end, make a bucket. Rink Mass was huge in the second half. Of course, Jamarcus hits the shot, but Sam and Jared Garcia down the stretch. The amount of different guys that stepped up. Top 15 win, 2-0 in Big Ten play. 15 straight wins. Nobody in the country has more consecutive wins dating back to last year. It's pretty good.
We'll also have football availability tomorrow. Dana Holgerson set to meet with the media, a couple players as well. Matt Rule will be here on Wednesday with Kyle, and we've also both had a chance to chat with the new assistant coaches, maybe some more news regarding that front, and who knows what the transfer portal will bring, or the not official transfer portal will bring here over the next few days. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Again, busy week for us. Full shows all week. We also have some picks to make this week. It's college football playoff week.
I'm done. I've given up.
But lots to get to this week. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night, full 2 hours here of Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Set, hike, When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
1 year, 0 interest. With a qualifying seed purchase from Central Valley Ag by October 17th, you can unlock 0% financing for 1 full year on seed and crop protection. The first 10 growers to enroll this week in the CVA Go Early Seed Program will receive 100 units of free CVA Elite soybean seed treatment. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.